What is going on YouTube? This is your boy PXG Cash Howard, coach of the New York Nido Kings, and we're here week 4 of the Worldwide Champions League Season 3. Now, last week we were actually able to pick up our first victory against Nate and the Waterville Weaviles. This week I'm battling the boy Curt and the Adelaide Absols. Now, Curt's draft scared me when it was time for the team building, because a lot of his pokes actually outspeed mine, given a choice scarf slapped onto them. As you guys already know, speed's always the main issue that I have to deal with because I like slower pokes. But it is what it is. Out of the possible threats, and like Curt did have a lot of threats, Curt brought in his Duck Trio, which he recently acquired, dropping Moltres, Fortress, Mega Gyarados, Chandelure, Infernape, and Zorg. Him bringing in Zorg, it's going to be a pain for me, because if I'm not paying close enough attention, I'm not going to be able to tell who's who. Zorg does learn a lot of moves that are shared by some of these other pokes that he's bringing. So it all comes down to, can I actually pay attention enough to notice when he comes in? I also have to deal with the fact that I have to get rid of Duck Trio before it becomes a game of revenge killing, which I don't want to deal with. But regardless of the fact, we're going to try to go in and get the W. So I'm bringing Mega Diancie, Tornadus, Suicune, Victini, Ferrothorn, and Heracross. So let's see what happens. Like I said, week 4 of the Worldwide Champions League. The New York Nido Kings taking on the Adelaide Absols. Alright, Curt issuing that challenge. Start leads off with Jambad, who is the Duck Trio. So I go into Moon Princess, as you know, the Diancie. So he quickly withdraws, so I don't know if that was supposed to be Zorg or not. Like I said, at this point I don't know what's what. He goes into Alcatraz. This could be the Zorg for all I know. I'm not sure. So I go for Protect. It obviously fails to de-swap, but I'll go for it again just to see what move it uses, because based off that I'll be able to determine who it is. He goes for Jambad. This is definitely Fortress. We're not staying in for this. So I go into the boy Miglu, and he quickly withdraws Alcatraz and goes into Jambad's Duck Trio. So this has to be Duck Trio. But what he doesn't know is that the boy Miglu, who doesn't like his haters, is carrying a Shed Shell. So I'm not staying in for that one. So I go into the boy Coach R type, the Tornadus. He goes for EQ, it misses obviously from flying. Go for the knockoff to determine what he had, which is the Sash. He goes for the rocks because he probably knows I'm going to kill it. And we knock off again, killing Duck Trio, starting off this at a 6-5. He goes into Alcatraz. He uses Flamethrower. Now let's Fortress learn new meta. This is obviously the Zorg this time around. But just to be on the safe side, we go for the Heat Wave, and it is the Zorg. Houdini the Zorg, who he quickly withdraws. He goes into Sia, the Chandelure. So I go for the U-turn because as much as I wanted to Heat Wave again, this could be Flash Fire, and that's the last thing I want to do right now. So we go back into Moon Princess and Diancie. I do take some damage from the Stealth Rocks. Now he withdraws his Chandelure, which I'm not sure. It could have been carrying Energy Ball. So I go for the Earth Power. That's about half. So at this point I go for Moonblast, and I know it's fast and hopefully will kill. I didn't want to go for Earth Power again because he would have probably gone into Gyarados. But he does not. Goes for the Gyro Ball instead, and that's instantly going to kill my Moon Princess. That times 4 weakness. Diancie goes down. We're looking at a 5v5. So bring out the boy Platform Helm. every platformer's nightmare. So he goes for the Stealth Rope. I go for the Stealth Rope, I'm sorry. So I used to people outspeeding me. He goes for the Spike, so a trade of hazards. I don't have Hitmontop with me this week, so I have no way to actually get rid of them. And with Diancie dead, there goes the thing that would actually stop him from doing so. He goes for the Rapid Spin, but I don't think he realizes how much health he has left and how much damage the Iron Barb is actually going to do, because it kills. Rapid Spin ends up killing him, and the hazard's not actually vanishing. So right now we're at a 5v4. Goes into Arson, who I'm assuming is the Infernape, and there it is. I am most definitely not going to stay in for this, because this thing will probably one-hit KO me with either of his 2 stabs. So I go into the boy Auron. Auron always taking them hits. So I take the damage from the rocks and the 1 Metal Spikes. But Auron's already applying that pressure. He goes for the U-turn. The pressure scaring him off. And he does reveal the Life Orb. He goes into Sia. I think that's the Zorg, because it didn't take enough damage from the rocks. So we're gonna test this theory, and he goes for the Trick. Trick automatically showing me that it's definitely Zorg. Luckily, I clicked the right button this first time, and I go for Scald, which does knock out the Zorg. Houdini the Zorg goes down. We're at a 5v3. Now comes out the actual Sia, the Chandelure. Does take damage from the rocks, and it's also gonna eat the Scald. Chandelure goes down as well. 5v2. Out comes out Unagi the Gyarados. So the rocks affect him. He does intimidate, but I'm not a physical attacker, so it doesn't bother me. So by rules, he Mega Evolves to Mega Gyarados. Mold Breaker kicking in. So I go for the Scald, so the Choice Scarf is probably helping me here. And outspeeding it, turn 1, and we get the burn. Oh, we get the burn. Having that Scarf is actually helpful because we were able to actually burn him before the substitute came out. So I withdraw and go into Platform Hell, because I don't think there's anything Gyarados can actually do unless, you know, it magically learns a move that I don't want to take. He goes for another he goes for Dragonlance, which I think... I know he's +1 speed. I do believe it brings his attack back to neutral, because it did get half because of the burn. He goes for a second Dragonlance. So at this point I'm assuming he's at +1 in attack and he's at +2 speed. So I go for the Power Whip. I don't have Gyro Ball. I'm assuming that's what he was imagining me to have, because Gyro Ball would have been it would have been resisted because of the water typing. But Power Whip would do it, hitting his water typing. So at this point Unagi's gonna die from the burn, so I could have just let him hit me, but why not just reveal that I have Protect, so that he could just die from the burn outright, and keep Ferrothorn fresh at full health at this point. And there it is with the burn. Unagi dies, and we're looking right now at a 5v1. Out comes out Arson, the Infernape, who does take some damage from the rocks, but I am not gonna stay in. No way, no how. So I go back into Auron. Get hit by the rocks and the spikes. Still exerting the pressure. Goes for the Stone Edge. not enough to kill me, but even though I have the Scarf, Infernape is still a speedy poke, and it is enough to kill finally Orin. Orin goes down. We're at a 4v1. We go into Horn Attack the Heracross. And with an Earthquake, you probably all thought it was a Mega Horn Ninja. Tricked ya. With the Horn Attack, Infernape goes down, and we're looking at the clean 4-0 victory.
And there goes the battle!
Honestly, my coach is actually my coach was actually more prepared than I was, as giving Shed Shell to Victini was actually probably clutch, as we were able to escape Duck Trio early on, and likewise be able to knock it off way in the beginning. Because you already know, the boy Miglu, he doesn't like haters, so he Shed Shell and keeps them away. You know how he does. Now, the Zorg giving me the Scarf may have also been a big catalyst for his downfall. Maybe he did tell me that he assumed that maybe he was Specs, and if it would have been Specs, I probably would have died, because there would have been no way in hell I would have been able to outspeed Chandelure. Probably would have energy balled me to death. But it is what it is. We move on. Next week we'll be fighting against Connor and the Plymouth Porygon Z's. And Connor last time around in Season 2, to put it lightly, he kicked me in the mouth, and he got that clean 5-0 victory on us. So hopefully this time around we make sure we can actually give him an actual battle this go round. But thanks you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure, as usual, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you know when the next video these come out. Till then, I'm Cash Howard, coach of the Near Native Kings, signing off. We'll see you next time.